Hello, my name is Avery Taylor, and this is my first round of the 2025 MLB Mock Draft. This is going to go over the first 27 picks in the MLB Draft, including rationale as to why I took the player for every team. The Mets, Dodgers, and Yankees all lost their first round pick and had it pushed down later into the draft just due to having too big of a payroll. If you're looking for more analysis on the players themselves and how I gave them their ranking, be sure to click this video. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy it. The ultimate question that will kick off this draft is, who did the Washington Nationals take at number 1? They've been pretty tight-lipped about it throughout the whole process. It pretty much seems to be 50-50 between Ethan Holiday or Cade Anderson. I went with Cade Anderson, and that's because I think that they are doing well to group a lot of prospects coming up now. Cade Anderson is a lot more MLB ready. I don't know if they want to wait around for Ethan Holiday. Cade Anderson was absolutely lights out for LSU. I think he would be a great addition to this Nationals prospect system. Had Cade Anderson not gone at 1, I think he definitely would be going here at 2, but he had gone at 1. So we're going to go ahead and give them the next best option at the left-handed pitching position with Jamie Arnold, the left-hander out of Florida State. Another guy that has a really high floor, maybe not the projectability of Cade Anderson, but he has a really high floor, will make it to the majors very quickly. We know that the Angels really love that. At number 3, I had the Seattle Mariners breaking the mold of selecting right-handed high school pitching early on, with Seth Hernandez going this high in the draft, and it's just because he's just that guy. He has plus pitches around the board, plus he has good control. He is just a really incredible high school prospect for a right-handed pitcher, and you have to give him his flowers. Not to mention the Mariners are really good at developing right-handed pitching, so it's kind of just a match made in heaven. At number 4, I have the Colorado Rockies taking Ethan Holiday. Obviously, there's the ties to his father, Matt Holiday, who was a longtime Rocky. But to go along with that, you put this kind of pop in Colorado, and it is just going to be dynamite. And it's kind of a best player available here for the Rockies. I think it's just the perfect pick given the board for the Rockies. At number 5, the St. Louis Cardinals will take JoJo Parker. They love a guy with good hit tool, and Parker definitely fits the bill there. Plus, he supplies some pop as well. He might not be a shortstop long term, but you're getting an excellent hitter with decent defensive upside here. I just don't know what there is to really complain about. The Cardinals get a guy that just feels like a Cardinal. At number 6, the Pittsburgh Pirates will grab Ava Arquette, the shortstop prospect from Oregon State. They are really good at developing pitching, as they've shown in recent years, and they desperately need to get more bats into this system that are producing. Ava Arquette will certainly do that, as he did in college. At number 7, we have our first real shock of the draft with Cruz Schoolcraft, the left-handed pitcher out of Sunset High School in Oregon, going to the Miami Marlins. I think this is justified based off the Marlins' recent history, showing that they love to underslot guys, especially guys that are really toolsy. Cruz Schoolcraft fits that bill. He is a 6'8" left-handed pitcher who has a 60 grade fastball, 60 grade slider, 55 changeup. He's just a really enticing prospect, and to think they will probably get a heck of a deal on him at number 7 sounds like the Miami Marlins to me. For the Toronto Blue Jays, I have them sticking with the best player available in Billy Carlson, the shortstop prospect from Corona High School. He is sick defensively, probably the best defensive shortstop within the class, and if the bat ever comes along, you know that's just ample value. It was tempting to nearly go with a guy from college and just kind of rush him up to the majors, improve that major league roster, but I think they do take best player available. Similar to the Pirates, the Cincinnati Reds have shown an ability to develop pitching really well over recent years, and it's the bats that need to come along in a big way, and I think they're going to try to address that with Ike Irish, the catcher slash outfield prospect. He is just an absolute masher. You put a guy like this in Cincinnati where it is kind of a bandbox, you're going to get some freebie home runs. It is just a match made in heaven, in my opinion. Ike Irish, I want to see him in right field more so. I think the catching, it's like kind of iffy. Definitely could see him in right field for Cincinnati. At number 10 for the Chicago White Sox, I was so tempted to go with Liam Doyle just because their history developing left-handed pitching, but I didn't. I went with best player available, and it's probably Eli Willits, the high schooler out of Oklahoma shortstop. He has just a plus hit tool. He's decent defensively as well. The power might not ever come along, but up the middle shortstop probably can undersaw him a little. You can never go wrong with that. However, Liam Doyle wouldn't fall too far down the board because we have the Athletics here at number 11 taking him. They've been actually picking players that have been getting up to the major leagues really quickly. Last year, Nick Kurtz. Year before that was Jacob Wilson. They've just been selecting these fast risers, and I think Liam Doyle, at the very least, he can come up within a year or two, be a reliever to start out and develop into a pitcher moving forward. That's the floor. Ceiling wise, he could be an absolutely dominant starter, but you can definitely get him up to the majors quickly. At number 12, I had the Texas Rangers going with best player available, getting Kyson Witherspoon, the right-handed prospect out of Oklahoma. Across the board, he just has plus tools, 4+ pitches, and has decent control. He just looks like a potential ace if the Texas Rangers can develop him. At number 13, I have the San Francisco Giants taking Xavier Nayans. Nayans is an absolute masher from the left-handed side, and they've been taking a few of those in the recent draft. To go along with that, it should allow them to underslot a bit, to allow them to invest further on in the draft. Their system behind Eldridge is getting pretty weak, so Xavier Nayans should be a perfect first-round pick for them. For the Tampa Bay Rays, they're normally pretty straightforward. They love their middle infielders with pop, and we're going to continue that trend with Wahiwa Aloy, the shortstop prospect out of Arkansas. He definitely fits the bill of pop. Going to probably stick at shortstop. He's just exactly what the Tampa Bay Rays draft. At number 15, the Boston Red Sox certainly love the same sort of criteria. Up the middle, guys with some offensive prowess. You know their ability to develop hitting is just unmatched in the MLB, but Marik Houston fits that bill for them. Defensively, really good. Offensively, still has some work to come, but if there's any team that can figure that out, it's the Boston Red Sox. At number 16, we had the Minnesota Twins taking Gage Wood, who's been absolutely flying up draft boards. And if there's any organization that can look past his injury history, it'll certainly be the Minnesota Twins, who are just riddled with it throughout their organization. At number 17, I had the Chicago Cubs taking Brendan Summerhill, the outfield prospect from Arizona. He just mashes. He's mashed his entire time at Arizona, and that's really what the Cubs like. They like guys with a long track record of hitting, and Brendan Summerhill certainly fits that bill. At number 18, we have the Arizona Diamondbacks, who are going to take Steele Hall, the high school shortstop out of Alabama. We know this team loves their athletes up the middle, and Steele Hall certainly fits that 70 grade running, and he's a decent fielder as well. The hit tool, we'll see if that comes around, but they've shown the ability to get more pop and more of a hit tool out of people as they get older. They just really look for these athletes up the middle. At number 19, I had the Baltimore Orioles taking Jace Lavalette. Somebody's going to take him. He has way too much upside to not be taken in the first round. I know he didn't have the greatest last year at Texas A&M, but coming into the year, he was the undoubted #1 prospect, and it's because of that light tower power. To go along with that, he can maybe play some center. You're probably going to have him in a corner eventually, but Baltimore, they love their college hitters, and I think Jace Lavalette is going to find a home. At number 20, I had the Milwaukee Brewers taking Daniel Pierce. Traditionally, they love to underslot guys who have big-time tools, but I think Daniel Pierce certainly fits that bill aside from the underslotting part. They probably won't be able to get him on that great of a deal, but Daniel Pierce certainly fits the bill. Defensively, very gifted, run great at 60 as well, plus has a good hit tool. Power, we'll see if that ever comes along, but this definitely feels like a Brewers pick. I think for the Astros at 21, they're another one of these teams that's incredible at developing pitching. They'll take that much later on in the draft, and they might as well take a guy with high upside on the offensive side. I think Kason Williams certainly fits that bill. Has a really good hit tool, one of the best in the class. Good runner, good arm. He's going to probably stick up the middle at either shortstop or second base. He just fits the bill of what the Astros look for. A team that is going to go a bit off the beaten path is the Atlanta Braves. They have 8 of their top 10 prospects as all pitchers. I definitely think they need to add a bat. I know traditionally you don't draft based off organizational need, but they need a hitter somewhere in this system. And I think Josh Hammond is going to deliver that for them. He's just a solid bat, has some decent pop in there as well. Could definitely hit upwards of 20, 25 homers. Definitely a name to keep an eye on, and I think he will go to the Braves. At number 23, the Kansas City Royals are going to be a little bit of similar, but also going best player available with Tyler Bremner, who somehow fell this far to number 23. He has really high upside with a very plush changeup, very plus fastball. Also has a slide piece in there as well, and has really good control considering the value of those pitches. They definitely need some pitching in this system, and I think the Tyler Bremner can certainly give them what they look for. At number 24, the Detroit Tigers will stay very much within their lane of taking up the middle prospects from high school that are very talented around the board with some pop. Sean Gamble kind of gives them that. He's all around just a really well-rounded prospect. Plus he has some pop in there that he could grow into that 6'1" frame. Definitely somebody to keep an eye on. At number 25, with the San Diego Padres, who love their big athletes who have elite tools. And I think Mason Neville certainly fills that void. Being a plus power hitting center fielder from Oregon, he certainly has the pop that they look for. And playing center field is just an added bonus. He definitely looks like he could stick there. If he can stick there and provide that kind of pop, if the hit tool ever comes around, this guy could be a dangerous prospect. Another team staying well within their lane is the Philadelphia Phillies, who have taken a high schooler up the middle in 3 straight drafts. And then we're going to continue that with Tate Southasine, the shortstop prospect from Nevada. He's not exactly the biggest guy in the world at 5'11", 180 pounds, but what he does do well is he runs well. He's going to give you surprising pop at a 50 grade, decent hit tool as well. He's just really well-rounded and fits within what the Phillies look for. At number 27, the final pick of the official first round, we have Landon Harmon going to the Cleveland Guardians. He is a right-handed prospect from Mississippi. He has a 6'5", 190-pound frame, very projectable from that. He already has an elite fastball and slider combination. Definitely some work on the off speed to do, but considering he is this touted of a prospect and you can get that good of a deal on him there at number 27, I think that is a home run pick for the Guardians. Let me know how you see the draft going down below. Obviously, we did go a little bit off the beaten path at the beginning with this one, and that kind of set up the rest of the draft to be interesting there out. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys for watching, and have a wonderful day.